Well, hey there. Welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. I'm the mom and I do the movie reviews. And my goal is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision as to whether or not you want to spend time or money or both sometimes watching a specific film. So I know I'm a little late to the party on this one, but I was in and out of town and finally had the great pleasure of watching the movie I'm reviewing today called Golda. This dramatic history lesson of the 19-day Yom Kippur War in 1973 is now available on video on demand on Amazon Prime Video, Vudu, and Apple TV. The movie itself is rated PG-13 and is an hour and 40 minutes. My overall movie review mom grade is an A. I thought it was so well done, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked, things I did not like, interesting lines, funny lines, tips for parents, themes worth talking about, and recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that I think you'll also really like if you like this one. All right, you ready to dive in? In a nutshell, the movie takes a look at the very complicated woman and the new state of Israel that she led during the Yom Kippur War in 1973. The film was beautifully directed by Guy Nativ and written by Nicholas Martin. So let me give you some tips for parents. I think, first of all, kids are going to be completely bored. There's a lot of talking and not as much action as you think there might be in a war movie. Adults, however, who love history or love Israel will be fascinated at the closer look at the Prime Minister of Israel during this very pivotal time in this new country's history. There is talk of death and war. We see a naked Golda Meir in the bathtub, although all of her private parts are completely covered up. We're just seeing how lovingly her companion takes care of her as she's aging and struggling with her own health. We see Jewish prisoners captured. There are so many cigarettes in the movie, mostly smoked by Golda Meir, some alcohol. Foreign languages are spoken occasionally without subtitles, and we see a hall filled with dead birds on the floor. Some of the themes that are illustrated very well in the movie are war, sovereignty, the Jewish nation, persistence, courage, politics, and even dementia. All right, so now the long list of things that I really liked about this movie. First of all, I absolutely adore Helen Mirren in anything. And when I saw that she was the star, I thought, okay, give her the Oscar right now. She is such a national treasure, earning her the title of Dame from the British Crown. So she's, of course, amazing in this role as the Prime Minister of Israel, who was often called the Iron Lady of Israel. Viewers might be surprised to hear Helen Mirren using an American accent for Golda, but Golda actually grew up in the United States of America and didn't immigrate to Palestine, it was called at the time, until she was in her 20s. The makeup team also deserves an Oscar for their work in this film. What a tremendous transformation from the lovely Helen Mirren into the aging Golda Meir, as well as the handsome Liev Schreiber into Henry Kissinger. Helen Mirren stated that she would be in the makeup chair for 3.5 hours every time she filmed. The team worked on every detail of her face, her legs, and even her nicotine-stained fingers. Director Guy Nativ had me within the first few seconds of the film during the opening credits. The shots are picture perfect and creative, and very respectful. There's an incredible visual of Golda Meir in her bed smoking a cigarette. The camera zooms down on her as we hear the sounds of bombs going off. We see the smoke from her cigarette dramatically rising above her in a cloud. So clever and powerful. And there were many, many shots like that where I was just like, wow, that was amazing. Even the sound effects are noticeably great in this film. The soundtrack and original score have already been nominated for awards. So the song at the end of the film is called Who by Fire by Leonard Cohen. He was inspired by a Jewish prayer said during high holidays, especially during Yom Kippur. The prayer is called Unitane Takaf. Now, I don't speak Hebrew, but that's probably close, right? Anyway, it means let us speak of the awesomeness. When Leonard Cohen performed a series of concerts in Israel in 1973, he heard the prayer and was inspired to write this song. Now, I've been suddenly noticing Camille Cotin in so many movies recently. She's always perfect in every role, and the entire cast actually did an exceptional job. The cabinet room that's used in many scenes in this movie is an exact replica of the exact cabinet used in the Kira base in Tel Aviv. The maps used in certain scenes help viewers to kind of understand the geography as they're talking about all of these borders and where soldiers and troops are crossing. Throughout the movie, we see Golda visiting her doctor often and struggling with her health, all while continuously puffing on cigarettes. The cause of her death wasn't disclosed immediately, but was later revealed to be lymphoma. She died just 5 years after the events that we see in this film during the Yom Kippur War. We also get to see footage of the real Golda and her countrymen, as well as some other famous politicians at the time, including US President Jimmy Carter. There's one really cool scene that takes old footage and puts Helen Mirren's Golda right in the middle of it. And there's passing of tea and drinks, and the green screen action is really, really good. It seems like she's really there. I thought it was really cool. Now, with all of that praise, there really were just a few little things that I thought could have been done better or differently. For example, some viewers, I think, might be a little bored with all of the political conversations. They're going to maybe wish for more war action. It would have been helpful if the maps were written in English so that we could understand the borders of the cities and the countries that are being talked about. Things are moving across maps, and you're like, wait. If you're not familiar with Middle Eastern geography, you might be a little bit lost. I know I was. And I was just there. I had the lifelong bucket list privilege of finally getting to go to Israel and Jordan just a few months ago. And so I was able to learn a little bit better what the topography is, but the war also involved Egypt and some other areas and bodies of water. Anyway, so just my 2 cents. It would have been helpful if it were in English, but of course, it's in Hebrew. Although the times of war were very dramatic and terrifying, I think a little bit more humor would have endeared us to more of the characters. Now, there is a little bit, but it's definitely not a comedy, and it's not appropriate to have just lots of uproarious laughter. But we learn these characters and they're military and political leaders, and they're just talking and discussing. And so we really don't get to know them or fall in love with them. Obviously, the focus is on Golda Meir, and she does say some very charming, interesting things that make us learn a little bit more about her. So I always take notes when I write movies, and I write down funny lines and interesting lines simply so that you can get a taste for the dialogue and the script writing quality. So I'll share a few of them with you right now. You can see them all on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. So one of the funny lines, the very few funny lines, is when Golda says, "Just remember, all political careers end in failure." And I thought that that was kind of cute. And she even chuckles after she says that. Another conversation, I didn't write it down word for word, but she's talking to Henry Kissinger and he's reminding her, first, I'm an American. Second, I'm Secretary of State for the United States of America. And third, I'm Jewish. And then she smiles and she says, yes, but in Hebrew, we read from right to left. In effect, changing the order in which he just listed those things. And, just a little wink. They're both trying to save the Jewish state, but, their hands are tied a little bit politically. Anyway, I thought that that was a great line. And then I wrote down a ton of interesting lines. One of the lines that Golda speaks is, we will teach our enemies a lesson they will never forget. Well, over there in the Middle East, they keep forgetting and causing problems over there with Israel. But Golda calls Henry Kissinger in the middle of the night and she says, we've got trouble with the neighbors again. And I thought that that was a cute way of saying it. Why can't everybody just get along? Just be happy with your current borders and let's save people's lives. Why does everybody have to fight over these borders? Another interesting line is when she tells somebody, I'm a politician, not a soldier. And in the movie, we really see her relying on the wisdom and advice of some of these military leaders. She definitely is stubborn and has her idea of how things should go. So there's an interesting interplay between the politics and the military decisions that need to be made. Anyway, I thought it was all just so very well done and interesting. So I've got 3 recommendations for you that of movies that I instantly thought of as I was watching this one. The first one is a movie where you get to learn a little bit more about Golda. It's an older movie called A Woman Called Golda. And then 2 more recent movies that were just excellent. The first one won an Academy Award for the actor Gary Oldman, who played Winston Churchill in the film The Darkest Hour. Actually, I don't think it has the word the. I think it's just Darkest Hour. And such a great film. And then another film that won an Academy Award for actress Meryl Streep is called The Iron Lady. I mentioned that Golda Meir was called the Iron Lady of Israel, paying homage to the Iron Lady, Prime Minister of Great Britain. What incredible leaders that the world saw during World War II and even the last few decades afterwards. And so much strength exhibited and just fantastic movies. Check them out. I think that you'll really enjoy them, especially if you like this and you're a history buff. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I hope that my reviews are helpful. If they are, give them a thumbs up and subscribe. And when you get a minute, run over to Instagram. You can follow me at Movie Review Mom, of course, but you can also follow me at Trina Boice, which is my real name. And you can learn about the 31 books that I've written and the online courses and products and other stuff that I've got going on over there. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.